Hey guys, it's Mr. Blazik. I hope you guys are all doing well. I know some of you guys have gotten started on some of the assignments that I have posted on Google Classroom, and I'm also sure that plenty of you guys have forgotten a lot of things that we've gone over since the last time we were in class. It has been a while. So I'm going to make a short video going over area and circumference. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys as you go through the assignments that I have posted on Google Classroom. So we're going to start off by going over the radius and the diameter of a circle. So radius, oh goodness gracious, that's terrible. Let's try that again. That's a little bit better. The radius of a circle is the distance from the center of your circle to the outside edge of your circle. So you can think of your radius as being halfway across a circle. So that is your radius. Your diameter, on the other hand, is twice the distance of your radius. So the diameter is the distance. Let me again try and actually get a circle here. Nope, that's not close, but we're going to stick with it. Diameter is the distance from one end of your circle all the way to the other end of your circle. So that is your diameter. Okay, so if you are given the radius and you need to find your diameter, all you need to do is double your radius. Going the other way, if you need your radius when you're given the diameter, all you need to do is take half of your diameter, and that would give you your radius. Okay. Now, we use the radius and diameter to find two different things with a circle. We use it to find the circumference of a circle, and we use it to find the area of a circle. So we'll start off with the circumference of a circle. And if we remember the circumference of a circle, you can think of it as being like the perimeter of a circle. It's the distance around the outside of a circle. And when we are finding the circumference, we're going to use the formula pi times diameter. Now, if you don't remember what pi is simply 3.14. Now, we learned in class that pi does go on for an infinite number of digits, so it would go on for a lot longer than this, but for our purposes, we're just simplifying it to 3.14. Now, we also learned one other formula for finding the circumference. We learned that we can also do pi times 2r. But we haven't really used this formula very much at all, and there's really no reason to use this formula. Because when you have 2r, this just means you have your radius times 2. And if you have your radius times 2, that means you're doubling your radius. And when you double your radius, you end up with your diameter. Which means when you're using this, as long as you know how to turn your radius into a diameter, then we only ever really need to use this formula right here. Pi times d. Okay. Now, on to the area of a circle. The area of a circle is the amount of space that is taken up inside of a circle. And finding the area, we use the formula pi times r squared. And if you've forgotten what that square means, that means that that's an exponent. And when we have r squared, that means we're going to do r times r. That's what r squared means. It means we're doing r times r. And that little dot is a multiplication symbol, by the way. Okay, so pi times r squared. That's going to give us our distance inside of the circle. Now, let's look at a couple example problems. If you need to pause the video here to look at the formula for circumference or area, you can. But I'm going to make a new board because I don't have any room here to do an example problem. Oh, let me just clear the board. Let's do that. Okay, let's do a problem where we need to find the circumference of a circle first. First thing you need to do, and I tell you guys this in class, every single time you do one of these problems, start off by writing down the formula. And every time you do a step of the problem, you're simply going to replace the values with what you know underneath that problem. If that's confusing, just follow along with me. So again, we said circumference, we're going to use pi times diameter. Okay? Well, we need a diameter, so let's get a circle here. And for our example problem, I'm going to set our diameter as, we'll say that diameter is 5. And that's going to be 5 inches. Okay? So we're going to write down circumference. And I'm just going to shorthand that to circum for now. Circumference, we're going to replace each one of these values with what we know now. Pi, we know, is 3.14. It always will be 3.14 times my diameter, which we just saw from the problem, is 5. So all we need to do for this problem to find the circumference is 3.14 times 5. So 3.14 times 5. 5 times 4 would give us 20. 5 times 1 would be 5, plus 2 is 7, and 5 times 3 is 15. Our decimal, we move over 2 place values. So we get, for our answer for the circumference, we get 15.70 inches. And that's it. We're done with this problem. That's all you had to do to find your circumference for this problem. Okay? Let's look at another problem. Let's clear this board. And again, we're going to do one more example where we're finding the circumference. But let's look at a problem now where we're finding the circumference when we're only given the radius. And we'll do what we talked about earlier, where we need to turn our radius into a diameter. So again, we're still going to start off by writing down our formula. Pi times diameter. That looks like a mushroom. It's actually a very well-drawn mushroom. I'm very impressed with myself. Should be a multiplication symbol, though. Close enough. Okay, so this problem, we're going to be given the radius. And the radius, we know, is half of our diameter. So this time, we're going to be given a radius of 3. Okay, well, our formula here doesn't have a radius in it. It has a diameter. But the diameter is just twice as much as your radius. So double your radius here would give us 6. So when your radius is 3, then your diameter is 6. So we're going to write down, and again, I'm going to shorthand it now to just C, because I'm having a hard time writing down all these words. So C is equal to 3.14, because that's pi, times my diameter, which is 6. So to find the circumference for this problem, all we need to do is 3.14 times 6. That's it. Oh, that line's terrible. 3.14 times 6, a little better. Starting off, 6 times 4 would give us 24. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. And 6 times 3 is 18. This decimal is moved over 2 place values, so we would move it over 2, which would give us 18.84. And I didn't put a unit on this problem. I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to write in, let's pretend like I put inches here. And so this is going to be 18.84 inches. So that is 18.84 inches around the outside of your circle. Okay? So again, when you're given your radius, just double it and then times it by pi. When you're given your diameter, just multiply it times pi. That's it. Okay? Let's look at a couple example problems for area now. If you're good at this point in the video, you can stop it, go work on your problems. If you need some help with area, you can keep watching. So area, and again, like I keep saying, we're going to start by writing down our formula. Formula for area is pi times radius squared. Okay. So let's look at a problem now. I'm going to give us an example problem with a radius of 4. So that is a radius of 4. It goes halfway across our circle. That's how we know it's a radius. So we're going to write down our information now. We know pi is 3.14 times. We know what r is. It's 4. And so that's going to be 4 squared. Okay. Now, hopefully you remember your order of operations. The first thing that we need to do in this problem here is the exponent. that means we needed to do 4 squared first. Okay, and 4 squared, if you remember from the first page that we looked at with our formulas, 4 squared means that we are just simply doing 4 times 4, which is 16. So area is equal to 3.14 times, we just figured out 4 squared is equal to 16, so it's going to be 3.14 times 16. And that's it. Now we're just going to do our multiplication. 3.14 times 16. 6 times 4 would give me 24. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 would be 8. 6 times 3 is 18. We're moving to my next row, so I'm going to skip my ones place. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. And we add that up together. 4, 12, 10, 5. Again, my decimals moved over 2 places, so I move it over to here. It's going to give me our area is 50.24. And that's it. We're done with this problem here. Our area, so that would be the amount of space inside of our circle, is 50.24. And again, I forgot to give us a label here, so this time I'm going to give us cm. I should have done this at the start of the problem, but I forgot. So that means that our area is 50.24 centimeters. Okay, and that's going to be centimeters squared. It's always centimeters, whatever your unit is, it's always squared when you're finding an area. Okay, let's do one more problem. Again, if you're good with the area, you can just stop watching the video and move on with your day. But if you want one more example problem, we'll do one more. Let's clear my board. And again, we're going to do a problem for the area. So first thing we do, always write down your formula first. Pi times r squared. This time, let's look at a problem where we're not given the radius. Instead, we are given the diameter. Again, we know this is the diameter because it's the distance all the way across your circle. And this time, our example problem is going to be a diameter of 10. And this time, I'm not going to forget my units. This is going to be 10 centimeters. Okay. So when we have a diameter and we need to find a radius, well, we just simply need to take half of my diameter. So if your diameter is 10, then your radius is half of that, and half of 10 would be 5. So looking at our formula, now we know what pi is. We always know what that is. Now we have our radius, and so we can solve this problem very easily. We're going to write down area is equal to 3.14 times r, we just figured out, is 5 squared. Hopefully you remember the first thing that we do in this problem, which is our exponents. That means we're going to do 5 squared first. So 5 squared, I'm going to do it right over here. 5 squared means that we're just doing 5 times 5, which is 25. Okay, and so we're going to write down area. Oh, it's quite the R right there. Area is equal to 3.14 times 25. So last step of this problem is simply to do that multiplication. 3.14. You know what? I'm going to rewrite that because I think I'm going to run out of room. 3.14 times 25. Okay, so 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. 5 times 3 is 15. Again, we're skipping our ones place, so put a 0 there. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. We add all that up together. And that's going to give us 78. Goodness gracious, that is some terrible writing there. That is going to give us 78.50. So my area is equal to 78.50 centimeters squared. And if you forget centimeters squared, that's fine. As long as you can get to 78.50, that's the important part of this problem. Okay? So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. You can go back, pause this video, rewatch whatever step you need to help you with your problems. If you're doing a circumference problem and you have no idea how to solve it, go back to the part where I went over a circumference problem, and you can do your problem step by step as I do the example problem. Okay, and hopefully that's helpful for you guys. I'm just going to finish this video by saying I really do miss you guys. It's been way too long since we've been in the classroom, and I don't know if I'm going to see you guys at all again this year, which really does suck. So I'm planning on making more of these videos for you guys. Hopefully you find them helpful. I'm going to be continuing to post assignments for you guys on Google Classroom as well. I'm going to spend a bit of time going over area and circumference still, just to make sure that we haven't forgotten what we went over before spring break. And then eventually we are going to move on to some other things. We had a lot of things that we had to do this year. And if we don't see each other again, that doesn't mean that we're just going to spend the next 3 months doing nothing. I'd like to still try to do some learning. And so I'm going to try the best that I can to teach you guys what we needed to learn through whatever means we have. And so if posting videos like this is the only thing that we can do, then this might be what I do for the rest of the year. We'll see. Regardless, like I said, I really do miss you guys. I hope you guys are all doing well. It's a pretty crazy time out there. It's pretty, like I said, I posted on Google Classroom, very unprecedented time for all of us. So I hope you and your families are doing well. I hope you guys have plenty of toilet paper stocked up. If you guys have any questions about finding the area or circumference or just anything else at all, feel free to reach out to me. You guys can post on Google Classroom. You guys can send me an email. Any of that's fine with me. I hope you guys find this video helpful. You guys have a good night.